just to understand this issue of cyber attacks a bit better, John, thanks indeed for talking to us. Well, the average Joe thinks of cyber attacks. One thinks of a hacker trying to get over some banking details, but this is so much of a larger threat and has so much more of a consequence than one would think, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the key issues here is that people don't understand just how much under attack we are. I mean, South Africa is generally in the top 3 of any attacks as reported year on year. Our users are very naive and they don't understand how connected we really are to the rest of the world.
John, what constitutes an attack? I mean, even I'm having a problem trying to understand that. What is an attack?
Well, in my opinion, an attack is any attempt made to either steal data or get at information which could potentially cost you money. So, like you said, a lot of people think back to banking attacks. But what about stealing sensitive information and doing things like identity theft, or stealing corporate secrets and selling those off to competitors? Any form of attack that happens via any form of cyber channel, it could be considered an attack.
And that's what they mean when they say 13,000 attempted cyber attacks per day in SA. All right, now we've also seen that the recent survey showing us that the big trend in Africa is going after industrial control systems. Does this apply to South Africa as well?
I think everybody is under attack. Industrial supply ones are the biggest scare because if someone gets hold of something of critical, a piece of critical infrastructure, they have the ability to, for example, open floodgates, empty out dams, those kind of items. What we're seeing a great deal of every day here is things where organizations are being targeted specifically to changing bank details, making payments incorrectly, or purely siphoning out money.
Now, obviously, one of the goals of having a big colloquium or gathering over the weekend on this particular issue was trying to be solutionist, coming up with the resolutions on how to counter this. What countermeasures do we have, and are we always beaten by the attackers on this one?
Well, I think it's time that everyone's got to get real. The thing is that it's happening more and more every single day. And most of the time it's because most of our users, specifically in South Africa and across our continent, are simply naive and not aware. Their organizations, in my opinion, are not really doing enough to educate people on what it is they need to look out for. And they're not doing the basics. You need to do the housework. You need to keep things up to date. And you need to also look out for compromised credentials that are out all over the internet. If I have your web credentials, all I need to do is log into your email account and wait for the right piece of information. And normally people will share things like passwords, or they'll share Wi-Fi passwords or network instructions using these unsecure methods. And that is very, very dangerous.
What about the costs of actually preventing this? I mean, isn't that sky high? Could that not be one of the reasons why we don't have an integrated approach?
I think one of the key items is people don't really know what it is they should be protecting against. So they start having a discussion, and before long, the discussion becomes so huge that they end up not doing anything. And that doesn't help at all. There are highly cost-effective methods in order to secure yourself, and you should partner up with legitimate organizations that have been around for a while in order to do that. It's not just a case of throwing money for the sake of money. You don't put in tech just for the sake of tech. You've got to dare to address a specific need. You can really put in a really effective user awareness campaign that combines, for example, with some kind of email security platform, and that way you let your people know what it is they should be looking out for. If your users are the ones that are the first line of defense, you've won half the battle.
I will leave it there. From J2 Software, he's the CEO, John McLaughlin. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us.